Hello, beautiful spiritual beings. It's B from Being Blissfully Zen. Welcome to my channel, and may you open up to your full spiritual potential now. Today's video is part 2 of my 3-part series on anxiety. In part 1, we explored how worry can take over our minds and how learning to trust and return to the present moment can help bring us back to a place of peace. Today, I want to share a simple mindfulness experiment that I have been trying myself. It is something very gentle. It is something very practical. And it is something that has helped me become more aware of where my own mind naturally travels. Recently, I came across a YouTube video by psychotherapist and writer Barbara Heffernan. She was discussing something called anticipatory anxiety. Now, anticipatory anxiety is not a diagnosis. It is simply a term used to describe the experience of worrying about what may happen in the future. It is when our minds begin creating stories, imagining possibilities, and focusing on situations that have not even yet happened. And as I listened to her, something really resonated with me. I realized that although I hadn't used that exact term before, we have actually talked about this many times here on Being Blissfully Zen. The importance of observing our thoughts, the importance of mindfulness, the importance of gently returning ourselves to the present moment. Because the truth is, our minds are designed to think. They plan, they remember, they try to protect us. But sometimes, especially during stressful times, our minds can become so focused on the future that we forget to experience the peace that is available right now. Barbara suggested doing a simple 10-minute meditation practice that encourages us to notice when our minds wander and gently bring our attention back to the present moment. That really spoke to me, so I decided to try it. As I began practicing this meditation, I noticed something about myself. Although I truly wanted to meditate, I was feeling stressed, and part of me felt like I needed to be doing something. Have you ever felt that way? Your body is sitting quietly, but your mind wants to stay busy. It wants to solve problems. It wants to make plans. It wants to keep thinking. And as I sat there, an idea came to me. Instead of becoming frustrated every time my mind wandered, what if I simply acknowledged it? What if I gently opened my eyes, wrote down 1 or 2 words describing where my mind had gone, and then returned to the meditation? And that is how what I now call my Observer Journal was born. To my surprise, writing those few words didn't take me away from the present moment. It actually helped me stay connected to it. I wasn't getting lost in my thoughts anymore. I was observing them, acknowledging them, and then gently returning to the quiet. For me, that became part of the mindfulness practice itself. And today, I want to share this little experiment with you, in case it helps you become more aware of your own beautiful mind. Now, let me explain exactly how I do this practice. First, I find a quiet place where I won't be disturbed. I choose a 10-minute meditation track with soft instrumental music and no words. The music becomes my gentle guide. When the 10 minutes are complete, I know my meditation time is finished. Beside me, I keep a pen and a notebook. Then I sit comfortably, close my eyes, and allow myself to become present. I don't try to stop my thoughts. I don't try to force my mind to become completely silent. Instead, I simply observe. Because the goal of meditation is not to have no thoughts. The goal is to become aware of our thoughts and learn how to return to the present moment. As I sit quietly, thoughts naturally come and go. Sometimes my mind begins planning. Sometimes it starts worrying. Sometimes it remembers something from the past. Sometimes it jumps ahead into the future. Whenever I become aware that my mind has wandered, I gently open my eyes and write down 1 or 2 words describing where my attention went. Maybe I write planning, packing, what if, tomorrow, phone call, just enough to acknowledge where my mind traveled. Then I gently close my eyes and return to the meditation. I don't judge myself. I don't become frustrated. I simply observe and return. This is the beautiful part. Every time I notice that my mind has wandered, I am practicing awareness. I am no longer lost in the thought. I have become the observer. Even though I briefly open my eyes and write something down, I am still consciously aware and living in the present moment. In fact, that moment of noticing is the practice. It is mindfulness in action. When the 10-minute meditation comes to an end, I take a few minutes to journal about my experience. I reflect on what I noticed. Where did my mind travel? Did certain thoughts appear more often? Was I spending more time thinking about the future or replaying the past? Did I notice any moments of stillness or calm? I also count how many times I notice my mind leaving the meditation. But this is not about a score. It is not a measure of whether I had a good or a bad meditation. I am not counting distractions. I am counting moments of awareness. Because every time I notice my mind wandering, I was given another opportunity to return to the present moment. Over the next week or two, I am curious to see if any patterns begin to appear. Perhaps I will notice that my mind returns to certain themes. Perhaps I will become aware of my thoughts more quickly. Perhaps the quiet spaces between thoughts will naturally become a little longer. Whatever I discover, I will meet it with kindness and curiosity. Because this practice is not about controlling the mind. It is about creating a loving relationship with the mind. It is about learning that we can notice a thought and then gently choose to come back home to this moment. So, to recap this little mindfulness experiment, for the next week or two, I invite you to try what I call an observer journal. Set aside just 10 minutes each day for quiet meditation. Find a comfortable place. Choose some gentle instrumental music or simply enjoy the silence. Keep a notebook and pen nearby. When your mind wanders, don't judge yourself. Simply observe. Open your eyes and write down a word or two describing where your mind went, and then gently return to the present moment. Remember, every time you notice your mind has wandered, that is not a failure. That is a moment of awareness. That is you practicing mindfulness. You are strengthening your ability to come back to this moment again and again. After your meditation, spend a few minutes journaling about your experience. Notice the patterns. Notice the thoughts that appear. Notice how your relationship with your mind begins to change. The goal is not to create a perfectly quiet mind. The goal is to become more present, more aware, and more compassionate with yourself. Because life is only ever happening right now. This moment is where we experience peace. This moment is where we experience gratitude. This moment is where we experience connection. And before we finish today, I want to give you a little preview of my next video. When we are going through difficult seasons, especially when anxiety is present, it is very easy for our minds to focus only on what is wrong or what we fear may happen. But what if we also become more aware of the blessings that are still showing up around us all the time? A loving phone call, a thoughtful text message, a card arriving in the mail, a kind word, a beautiful moment that touches your heart. In my next video, I'll be sharing a practice I call the God's Gifts Journal, a simple way to begin noticing and recording those little blessings, especially during those challenging times. I hope you'll join me for that. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. If you decide to try this observer journal experiment, I would love to hear about your experience in the comments below. What did you notice about your thoughts? What patterns did you discover? And what did you learn about returning to the present moment? Every gentle return to this moment is a step closer to peace. If this video resonated with you, please feel free to like, share, and comment below. Also, please consider subscribing to my channel, Being Blissfully Zen, for more spiritual awakening tips. So until next time, beautiful spiritual beings, be blissful, be Zen, and I'll see you soon.